This week we have a really fun cake. It's a sculpted carousel cake, and it's going to be a replica of the Greenway Carousel on the Rose Kennedy Greenway in Boston. And that carousel has, the animals that you ride are all based on New England creatures. And so we're going to be able to replicate that out of cake and gum paste and sugar. So what we need to do is come up with a structure for the cake. There has to be all of this negative space where all the animals are going to be. So we're going to have an iron pipe that goes in the center, and then a couple of flanges to screw it into, and the masonite and the wood. That way, for sure, the top and the bottom of the carousel aren't going anywhere, and there's plenty of space for all the characters in between. And in order to do proper research for this cake, we're definitely going to have to take a little R&D trip to the actual carousel, take a few rides, just so we know what we're doing.
So the sketch does a couple different things. It lets us know what we're going to be doing, and it lets the customer know what they will get. So we have our 6 animals here. We have the lobster, the whale, the seal, the cod, the sea turtle, and the oarfish / sea monster, which might be my personal favorite that we are going to get to do. So one of the things I want to make sure of when I'm sketching this is that just to give myself an idea of how big these animals are going to be, I think we're going to try and get them pretty close together onto the cake because they're kind of the feature, right? That's the most eye-catching part, all these fun animals. So we'll play around with the dimensions when we actually sculpt them, but just for now I'm going to draw them pretty close together so that, you know, we have the most space for animal fun. So part of this process will be going online, taking the photos we took from actually going to the carousel, and just getting an idea of how the animals are going to look in 3 dimensions, trying to translate that into the drawing with a little bit of perspective. So I guess this is where having a drawing background comes a little bit in handy. So in the actual carousel, the animals actually come pretty much close to the ground. There's only a very little bit of stage, but obviously we're going to need a lot more room to have a cake in here. So I'm just building out the design from the top part of the carousel a little bit so that we have a nice thick area for cake, and also a good spot for a name plaque so we can get all of the detail in and get a little birthday message going. So just doing some of the lines from the top, simplifying it down, and adding that to the bottom for a nice little bit of detail, which I think will be very nice.
All right.
So I don't normally draw my sketches this big, but there's so much detail. We really want to get it all right on the page. This is obviously going to be such a fun cake. We want to make sure that you can see everything. And especially when we're trying to space it later, we're going to want to make sure that we have a very good visual for ourselves. So this is all done. We are going to send this off to the client and get a confirmation, and then we will get right into starting the cake. So that's going to be a lot of fun.